Oh, she's so good at that. Thanks, Cece. How was your guys' sleep last night? Cece slept through the night.
Over 15 years of clinical research. Ask your doctor about Charla today.
Wow, that's an old picture of me.
Here on Earth, so an example is rare earth elements, which are and the mighty parts of the moon where these are concentrated, enough to be able to find them. But the moon's most sourceable resource is a surprising one. Also, it has water trapped in some of its minerals, and it also has substantial amounts of water on the walls, older parts of the moon, especially regions which don't shadow craters. So these are areas that never ever sunlight, so they're super cold and they can act as cold traps where ice touch the buildup. Also, it's vital to creating the moon base, and it's the heart of the 21st century space race. America battled with the Soviet Union for space dominance. Today, it's China who's the competition. Both countries want the best in real estate. They are most abundant sources. I think that the real China by now is that China is the incentive to be the first major power that gets that. Dr. Ellen Chance is the first British astronaut, and she said it really matters to race to the moon. They're already own that this announced because of the UN Outer Space Treaty. Basically, operate on a national experiment. So that's the big thing right now is this time to get to learn more people that can't own it. So there. But the US wants to go even further. Pretending to live is a stepping stone to going up. Libby Jackson, the head of state at the Science Museum, she said her mission to the red planet has where perfect testing ground. There are many technologies that are essential for learning this work space, looking at power, protection from radiation, recycling technologies. These are all technologies that it's either the first time on Mars.
Okay. Okay. Bye.
Three. Tomorrow.
gonna take my drugs today.
Hi, Lori and Jim. How are you guys?
Hi. Good. How is
Great.
everyone?
Nice to see you on here.
Hi. Whom are we speaking to?
Oh,
Am I muted? Huh? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay.
I
And
can
I'm
hear
sorry.
you.
Your name is,
Yep.
what is your name?
Lori,
Thanks, Lori.
and you are?
I'm Eve L. Zenga.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
More. Oh, did you hide our image too?
No.
Oh, okay. Evening, Kucko.
Yeah.
So England versus who in Civil War? What continent are we on?
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Craig. I'm the president here at DePrez Travel. We're not ready to start yet, but I just wanted to greet everyone and say thanks for joining us. We've got about 4 minutes until 9:30 Eastern time here on the East Coast, and we'll start there, maybe give it a minute or two for other folks to join. But thanks for joining, and feel free to talk amongst yourselves. We're delighted you're here.
Thank you.
I don't even know if my oh.
Hey, Lori, you should be able to see yourself.
Yeah. Craig, if I can't see myself, is that problematic?
Blue button.
It is not, but if you can't see yourself, is your video turned on?
How would I have turned the video on,
If
please?
that's Eve talking on the lower part of your screen, Eve, in the lower left, there should be
I'm
a
sorry, I wasn't
camera
listening.
that says video with an arrow that you can click on and open up
Oh,
the
that was
options.
why. That was why. Thank you.
It's
Yeah.
an excursion, although the word's incursion.
Who's ready to throw me out of the DePrez offices?
Boys need congressional.
Hey, John, good morning.
How are you?
We're great. We're great. And you?
Yeah, very good, thank you.
What the fuck? I've never had this. Haven't just said what the fuck.
That was not me.
I don't know.
Hey, John, can you hear us?
I can hear, yes, correct.
Okay, we're Bob and Katie Pikinen.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
I have already been out along the Genesee River for the last hour and a half waiting for the big ship to leave that never left. So, and one of those starts to the week.
Last time we saw you was when the girders were going by for the bridge in Buffalo.
Oh, wow. Yes,
You were in Adams Basin. We saw you there.
yes, I do remember. Yeah, gosh, I hit a lot of spots up on that adventure.
You did. You were moving around a lot.
Yeah, that's kind of the way it is now in my endeavors. So it keeps me out of trouble.
Sound. I think I got it off.
Good morning, everyone.
Welcome.
Good morning.
There's Jim. Someone.
I guess I should have shaved for this.
Those high definition cameras, John.
Now that I'm not on TV anymore, I shave like every 3 days. It's a nice existence.
All right, everybody, it's 9:30. We're going to give it about another 30 or 45 seconds just to let people to have a chance to join, and we'll try and be respectful of your time.
I'm retired. You don't have to be.
Okay, all right, then we're going to take it easy.
Putting up the chat window.
Tech question. So there's two of us from two different homes. Are we both going to be able to sign on from the same site, or is it going to block us out? I don't see my mate.
I don't know. Craig, you might be able to
Shirley, ask that question again, Shirley.
So Joan, who I'm traveling with, is from a different home. The emails just were coming to her, so I signed on from her what she had sent me, but I don't know that it's going to block her getting on because I don't see her.
So, Shirley, we may need to do some look at the registration after the meeting, but basically the way it works is there's a primary person that registers, right? Their name and their email, and then we add a guest, and that guest has a separate email. Both should be getting the information, but that's typically how it's done. Was that your experience? You're on mute, Shirley.
I'm the guest, but I did not get a separate email, even though my information all went in.
Okay.
So I signed in and what she forwarded to me, so I may be blocking her.
Okay.
No, she should be able to go in. I think that link is good for everybody.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens.
And we'll sort through that. All right. Well, terrific. It is a little bit past the half of the hour. So welcome everyone to the Zoom meeting this morning. My name is Craig Kern. I'm the president here at DePrez Travel, and absolutely delighted that all of you are here and interested in the Christmas Markets Cruise. We are so pleased to work with John and all of you on this and the other trips that we've done as well. It's really a high point of our year or our quarter whenever these trips go off. So thank you for everyone joining. This charter is something that is big and new for us in terms of this particular program with John. It's a big undertaking and it is going really, really well. I don't know where we are in terms of cabins this morning, but last night we had about 58 of the 76 available to sell. So it's going very, very strong. It'll be sell out quickly, very quickly, I think, which is a testament to John and the following that you've put together. One of the things that's really been exciting for us about this is the community of the people that go on these trips. We'll talk a little bit about more of that a bit later, but we're really decided. So what we're going to do this morning is try and go through some aspects of the trip for those of you still deciding whether you want to attend or not, and help you make that decision and to understand, what's very special about this trip. We'll have an opportunity for some question and answers at the end, and we'll just get into it. So I think I'll introduce quickly, if I can. So I'm the president here at DePrez. John, you are with us. John Kucko. Can you say hello to everyone?
How's it going, everybody? Good morning to all, and look forward to having you on this amazing adventure.
Terrific. And also from our organization, Catherine Root, who is overseeing the registration processes with Tammy Vandermeulen. Catherine, can you greet everyone?
Good morning, everybody. We hope you'll be joining us. Thank you so much.
And I'm Tammy Vandermeulen. We're here to help you. So just
terrific.
Give a holler if you need anything.
Sure. And Cindy McLaughlin, you're also here from our end. Can you introduce yourself?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Cindy McLaughlin. I've taken a couple of John's trips out, and I welcome everybody and come join another one.
Terrific.
One thing, Craig, people are saying they're getting an echo, so if everybody could go maybe on mute. If they're not talking, maybe we could stop the echoing.
That would be great. Catherine,
Yeah, so
are
I'm
you
assuming
able to
from
mute
what
everybody?
he told Mark, he wasn't coming in today.
Okay. So again,
Okay.
We'll ask
Okay.
everyone to mute. We've got 59 people on the call. So it's a lot
Mark
of
started, we got off track. So I think they found his dad hunched over in a chair and his sister's some kind of a nurse or something. But I don't know. Is his dad even Pops?
Let's see. We're trying to
Tracy,
see
I have no idea the family. I mean,
I'll give everyone a public service announcement. Always assume your mic is hot and on.
right. I know.
35-year TV
That's what I don't know.
background. So be careful, just if you don't want something to get out there. I learned the hard way back when I was doing sports, but it's all good now.
Yeah.
But,
so it looks like whoever was talking has figured that out. Thank you, John. Let's see. Sonia Cittadino is also with us, our Chief Operating Officer. Sonia.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome. We're so happy to have you here to hear about this exciting cruise coming up.
And Christina Chin is here, who will be overseeing all of the air arrangements for people that want assistance with that. Christina, can you say hello this morning?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Christina Chin, and thank you for working with DePrez. We're happy to have you.
Okay. So I think that's the team. Did I miss anyone from our end? Okay. Great. So, John, if I could impose on you for a moment, I'd like you to kind of talk a little bit about, why you chose the Christmas markets, what they've meant to you, why this particular trip, and just talk a little bit about the people that have been on board that you've met, and tell us a little about what makes this so special.
Yeah, absolutely. First, I'll go back a few years, back to when I was a sports anchor here in the Rochester area. I didn't know anything about digital, was not interested at the time, and I was traveling all over the country covering the Buffalo Bills, covering Super Bowls for stations across America, and DePrez Travel handled pretty much all my travels. So when I did leave sports, I reached out to some of the folks over there and I said, give me a little time to grow my Facebook page. I'd love to reconnect and work again down the road because they always did great work in my sports travel days. So I built the page, we connected again, and here are these trips. So how did we get to the Christmas markets trip? Well, the first trip I did with DePrez was a trip to Iceland, and it was twice postponed because of COVID, like everything was back in that era. Hard to believe it's been 6 years already. But I knew my wife wasn't really big into the hiking around Iceland and the waterfalls, etc. Charla is more subdued. And I said, look, where do you want to go? What's a good destination other than your beloved Italy, which we're now doing our second trip in a couple weeks there? I said, what do you want to do? And she said, look, how about the European Christmas markets? Now, I'd never heard of it. I come from a sports background. I thought I would be bored stiff, to be quite honest with you. We did a post on it on the first one. This is year number 4. This cruise will be year number 4, but I did a post on it and it immediately got enormous reaction. Then I went and I got hooked. It is hard to articulate in a Zoom call just how special the European Christmas markets are. Celebration of the holiday season to a level that, quite frankly, we're just not familiar with in this country. Surrounded by age-old architecture. The spirit is amazing. The cathedrals, the basilicas, the shops that go back, in some cases, 1,000 years. It's just amazing everywhere we've gone. So this is the 4th year we've done this European Christmas markets tour. Craig and I, Craig's impetus really as far as making this bigger than ever, we want to kind of take it to a different level. Usually when I post on this specific trip, it would sell out within the hour. And often even earlier than that. So we wanted to be able to accommodate more people. This has become a real community for us. We've become lifelong friends with a lot of people on these trips, and many of the people are return guests. So they keep coming back for the trips, which is testament to just how much fun they have and how good DePrez is to work with. So we are thrilled to be doing this. This is our own ship. I mean, think about this for a minute. We get on and we call that home for 7-8 days, which is just terrific. And while all the other trips have been amazingly great, it's kind of nice for a change not to have to pack and unpack every 2 days, although I really didn't mind. It takes me about 30 seconds to do that, but you get the idea. This is going to be off the charts. I've been to Budapest, I've been to Vienna, and to see it from the standpoint of the Danube, they pull into ports, you go out and experience the markets, all that the cities and markets have to offer, and then you come back to your home on the river, and great dinners, great drinks, great times, great people. So This has become the benchmark trip that I do every year. It's the one that sells off the fastest. This is a little different, obviously, because it's much bigger, much more headcount here as far as people coming aboard. But this is going to be a once-in-a-lifetime deal, bucket list thing, as I said yesterday in the post. And I cannot wait to get to December. Not that I want to rush things too much, but I cannot wait to do this. This is going to be spectacular.
John, that's great, and I know that this community is something that's very special, and it's growing, and a lot of people have been on the other trips. I've signed up for this one as well. So all of the people that are repeaters, welcome back, and all of you that are considering going for the first time, you're going to be welcomed into a very open, wonderful group of folks that have got a lot of common interests with you. So John, and you and Charlotte, John, obviously are wonderful hosts. You spend time with everybody, make them feel welcome, and it's just terrific.
I appreciate it.
We'll talk just at a high level very quickly about what makes this special, the experience and everything that's going to take place on this trip. Well, the first thing is it's a private charter. All right. So this is a private ship. It's just us. And what makes that so special is that it's our community. All right. So yes, we've customized the trip. We've adjusted the entertainment and the thing that's going on board and all of that to make it more suitable for this group and what our objectives are. But it allows everyone that's there, everyone on the ship is going to be there for the same reason, right? They're here because they're a part of the community. They enjoy the digital journeys that John takes you on around the world and through nature. And now you're going to do that in a physical sense, all right, and be a part of that. And everyone's got that got that in common, and that's very special. And so this will be no outsiders, just our community on the ship for 7 days. We own it. We do whatever we want. We want to leave port early, we leave port early. We want to stay late, we stay late, as long as we can do that, given what the locks are and the demands of that, We want to stay up late and get loud, we stay up and late and get loud. We want to go to bed early, we go to bed early. We do whatever we want. It's our ship, it's our programming, and that's really, really unique. All right, so that's really a big deal. The Christmas markets and the atmosphere are there, and that's what John has spoken to. If you haven't been there, this is it's so romantic. It's so moving. There's so much substance to it. And for those of you that haven't been through Europe or through the Christmas markets, it's a different pace. It's a different way of life. It's a different way of looking at the world. At least for what we're used to in America. Now, many of you are not from America. You'll be from other parts of the world, but it's a very unique culture, and the zeitgeist of everything that's happening is really, really special. You'll be unpacking once, and seeing 4 different countries and a number of different stops. That's very unique and very special. This ship we'll talk a little bit about later is a very high-end ship, very special in that regard. It's not a typical cruise, right? This is a shared experience for all of us, and it's very, very special in that regard. It's all inclusive. We may get to that a little bit further as we go down our agenda for the meeting. But I'd like to introduce Tamara. Tamara, are you with us? You may have to unmute.
I'm here. Can you
Okay,
hear me?
terrific. Tamara is with Scenic Cruises. So our ship, the Scenic Pearl, is in the Scenic Cruises fleet, which is an upscale fleet, a luxury leaning operation. And Tamara, tell us a little bit about your experience, because you've been on the Pearl and you've worked on the ships.
Hi everyone, nice to see everyone and working with DePrez. As Craig said, I'm coming from the cruise industry for the past 7 years. I worked on board on our ships, and now I'm in the office organizing all of this. And I can definitely agree with John and Craig. Christmas markets are something very special in Europe. I am from Serbia, which is quite close to Hungary, and I've been to a lot of Christmas markets in Budapest, in Vienna, and there is something very special. So whatever it's in all these Christmas markets, we also try to bring it on board. So we on scenic, as we are the 5-star luxury company in river sailings. We also decorate the ship. We have Christmas trees and all the Christmas decorations. There is, as Craig said, it's all inclusive, so you get the drinks on every step, food on every step, which I think is really important, because if you have drinks, you need some food in that as well. When it comes to the ship itself, as Greg mentioned, sailings on the rivers are quite different from the ocean sailings if you've been on one, and you can see that it's you unpack once and you pack again once. However, during the sailing, you can see the gorgeous scenery on the way, like we have Wachau Valley, and this is during the daytime, so you get actually to experience this sailing as well. You'll have 16 different locks, and we have our nautical team on board and our hotel crew who can explain to you how the locks function, because without them we were not able to control bit of the water levels, and we couldn't get from point A to point B. And this is something very specific for the river cruising as well, which also affects our itinerary and how we are sailing. But since, as Craig said, I've been on board, and for me, during the Christmas when you're sailing and outside it's snowing, and then you get from the Christmas market nice and frozen but full of the mulled wine, you get a little bit more on board, that's for sure, to warm up.
That can be a problem with me.
Nah, there is not a problem with
No,
me.
I know.
We didn't have one so far.
I did get quite tired one time when I was in Vienna because I had a little too much in the morning, but it's all good. It's all good.
Exactly. So for me, one of the best itineraries for the Christmas market is actually Upper Danube between Budapest and Regensburg that John chose to do, because you have Budapest, amazing Christmas market, and then you come on board with your mulled wine cup, and then you can just refill it again, so it's never empty. As our scenic fleet ship, Scenic Pearl, a little bit about the ship, it's like 135 meters long, which would be around 443 feet. We have 11 meter width, which is about 36 feet. We have the maximum capacity would be 167 guests, but I think, as Craig said, you're going with bookings quite well and really fast, so we're going to have a full ship. That's going to be amazing. We have 51 crew member on board who is going to take care of everything you need, and we're going to make this really, truly something unique experience for you. And there is multiple venues on board as well in regards of the meal. So we have the main dining room where it's our breakfast, lunch, and dinner. As well, we have our Portobello venue where we have dinners specialized on each night, and this is accessible to the entire onboard guests. Then we also have our butler service, who is available for you between 6 a.m. and midnight on everyday basis, whatever you need. If you need an extra hanger, or you just want to style your minibar as per your needs, you just give him a call and he will do that for you. In each cabin, and I think this is maybe a question for many of them, because you're coming in the winter time and it can be snowy and rainy. Every cabin is equipped with an umbrella, and if you need more than one, then we also already have extra that you can borrow from the reception. As well, we do have on board bicycles that are e-bikes. I know it's winter, but some people, they really enjoy snowy bike rides, so you're more than welcome to utilize them. Just be careful because it can be icy and slippery. So every cabin is, what I can say for now, definitely, that is equipped with umbrellas. You have the walking sticks. You don't have to take your let's say shampoo and shower gels, because every cabin has it, as well as towels. So something regular setup, you have a blow dryer as well. So just to reduce on the stuff that you can pack in your luggage, because it can get quite heavy for 7 days. I know I always overpack. Therefore, maybe, but you're gonna need a warmer clothes, that's for sure, because especially when you're on board during the sailing time, it can get really windy and it can be cold. So pack some layers to have in the luggage. So our ship as well, we have 3 decks. We have as well the salt room to warm you up after the long tour. As well, we have accessible spa salon, and our very well-being coach, she or he is doing the massages. Whenever you want to go, you just go to the reception desk and you can check his or her schedule, and you can make an appointment, and they're very good. As well, during the day, we also have accessible gym if you're more into working out. I know I'm not. I prefer to have the mulled wine as my exercise during the Christmas time. And for now, if you have any questions, I think.
Hey, Tamara, if I can, Tamara, if I can jump in, Tamara, and have you answer for us. The salt room, if you could just tell folks what that is included. There's no charge for that. If they're going to get massages or spa treatments, there's a charge for those, based on what you book. But the salt room is included, the salt therapy, correct?
Exactly. So the salt room, the gym, they're all part of our inclusive package. However, as Greg said, the massages, you will be presented with the menu together with the prices in there coming with an extra charge. And as well, we do have a shop on board that are also coming as additional charge.
Terrific. And then the ship itself. So this is a premium ship. What about the positioning in the marketplace for it, the size of the cabins? You call them suites. They're more typical of cabins, what people would be used to, but they're a bit larger than most of the ships, aren't they?
Yes, exactly. So actually, I'm right now on the ship in one of our ships in south of France. So I can tell you from real live transmission that our cabins are definitely larger on that scale, because we also have the balcony, which most of the river cruise companies doesn't have. It's a very small amount of them. That's why we are different from other cruise companies, where we have a balcony as well, accessible at all times. You can also put the window halfway down throughout the sailing, so you can take pictures, because the scenery is really beautiful. As well, we have a bathroom that is quite larger than comparing to other companies. We do have a difference in suite categories. We have the balcony suites, we have the owner suite, the royal owner suite, and the panorama suite.
And so this ship is, the capacity is quite a bit less than the standard ship. The standard ships are closer to 200 in capacity that work on the river. And so we're probably, 15 or 20% less capacity than most of the ships.
Yeah. So as far as I know, the largest ship on the river has 199 guests. For some other companies, we have on Scenic, we do keep maximum capacity at 160. Approximately, because we build bigger cabins.
Yeah, terrific. That is great. Tamara, if you stay with us, and when we get to the end, there'll be I'm sure a number of questions for you. I'm just going to go through some of the logistics for booking here, and Catherine or Tammy, if either of you want to jump in, please do. For those of you that haven't signed up, there's $1,000 deposit per person that you can do on the website, $2,000 per cabin with a credit card to secure your space. Once you secure your space, that's refundable for 10 days once you make the deposit. After the 10 days, it becomes non-refundable. So if you want to get your space, I suggest you lock it in right away. And then if you decide we need some time to think about it, take your time to think, and then you can release the space if you don't want to go. But if you're thinking about going, the way things are looking right now, you may not have a chance if you don't, book pretty fast in terms of that, because the demand is very strong. April 30th will be a second payment, 50% of what's left. And then I think June 30th, correct me, Tammy or Catherine, I'm wrong, will be the final payment. Those payments need to be made by check as opposed to a credit card. That's because of the nature of the arrangements with the cruise line. They don't accept credit cards for payments on the actual, the actual cruise itself. They are, of course, accepted on board. I'm seeing a question real quick. Strat, is that from you? Can the beds be converted to twins? Is that your question? Yeah, I think it is. Um, Tamara, can the beds be put into two, twins or a queen?
Yes, however, so we just need that information right ahead. So when they do their booking, they need to make sure to know their preference in the bed setup.
And then if they get on board and they want to change their mind, can they do that once they're on board, Tamara?
Absolutely. They just need to inform their butler or housekeeping or the reception, either three of them. They can assist them with that immediately.
Okay, terrific.
If I don't mind, Greg, I saw also one of the questions, which is I would like to answer for all of it, in regards of the ship access when it comes to people with disabilities or the wheelchair. On the ship, we do have an elevator that goes between the first, the second, and the third deck. However, it doesn't go on the sun deck. Sometimes we can be double docked as well. So that person would need to be able to make a couple of steps in order to get off the ship and on the ship. However, we do have a wheelchair on board that the guests can use if they don't bring their own, but the wheelchair has to remain on board.
Okay. I see a lot of questions starting to come in, and we'll get to those. Just to go through some of the logistics. The air flight. So this is package is just the cruise itself. It is all inclusive with everything, taxes, gratuities, open bar for the entire cruise, all of the meals, all the entertainment, all of the tours, everything one price and done. Includes transfers to and from the airport or to and from a hotel if you're on a pre or a post package. So all of that's inclusive. What's not included is airline tickets, and you'll fly into Budapest and you'll fly out of Munich if you are just going to fly to the ship and back from the ship. All right, we end in Regensburg, but we take a transfer from Regensburg to Munich itself or the airport on the last day of the cruise. If you want to deviate, of course, and spend more time in Europe, either on before or after or both ends of the cruise, you can do that and adjust your air cities appropriately. But it's into Budapest out of Munich is where the air would be. And we will, once the ship is committed, which should be fairly soon, we will go through and assess all of the folks that have requested assistance with air. We will help you with air. And we'll find out if there are a number of people coming from specific cities to coordinate things like that. We'll take a look at that in the coming days and weeks to accommodate the air. We'll reach out, and that's what Christina will do. She will be your contact for air, anything air. Travel insurance is highly recommended for this. Please take advantage of the link on the website to TravelX, which is the insurance company that we work with. You're welcome to get your own travel insurance if you've got a preference with someone else. We also work with Allianz, but very important to have that, particularly because this is it's a high end. This is a deluxe cruise, and it's not inexpensive and worth protecting. And we can also work through the details on insurance if you'd like as well. I just want to spend a minute or two before we open up our Q&A. Cindy, you have been on the cruise on these trips before. Could you just tell us a little bit about what the community was like and what it was like? Let's see, is Cindy muted? I think you're muted, Cindy. There you go.
Yes, sorry about that. My mouse is losing its battery, so
okay.
I need to replace. Anyways, I have hosted the Scotland, and I have some upcoming tours along with John, and it really does become one big family. Everybody is very nice. It's very, you do what you want kind of thing, but everybody gets along and becomes lifelong friends after. I mean, I hear people, they go out for coffee after so everybody is really very friendly, very, it's a great community, even though John, people come from all over. I've had people join the groups from Florida, Arizona, all over the place, and everybody fits in. It's not just from Rochester. So it really is like, a lot of them are photographers themselves or just love watching John's pictures and being on tour with him in Scotland. He's, sees a waterfall or something and we stop the bus and he runs out. So everything is just very laid back and a lot of fun.
That's great. And I think you hit on it, and I'm trying to, for people that haven't been on a trip, get this across as best as I can. Everyone here is already a part of a community. It's a very large digital community, and this is the in-person manifestation of that. So everyone has got a commonality, right? So when people come together and they've got a common reason for being in one place, my experience over the years has been is they tend to let down their airs. They're very open because everyone's got that in common, right? That's all that matters, is we all are there for the same reason. And it makes for a very special experience. It really does. That's what this is all about. You can go to the Christmas markets on your own. You can do that and see them. And while that's a massive part of what we do, it's the community and the way you feel about it. And, I often share this anecdote, this also applies to insurance and whether you want to arrive early or stay late for the cruise. But, if you are worried before you go on a trip that, what if I get ill, or what if there's a problem and I've got a lot of money invested, and then the day of travel you go and the flight's delayed and you're worried you're not going to get to the ship on time, and you arrive there and the weather's not nice, and you get to the ship and you just are off on the wrong foot, right? That whole experience is not positive. All right. You don't know who you're going to meet when you're there, who you're going to have to sit next to, all of those things. That's not like it here. All right. Everyone's got this common bond together. All right. They know exactly what we're going to be doing. There are going to be people that were similar to ourselves. All right. Regensburg, we overnight. There's no risk of missing the ship. If you're delayed coming in on the same day of travel, we did that intentionally so that you don't have to carry that. If you have insurance, you don't need to worry about it if your plans change. And then you can be very relaxed all the way up until the trip. All right. And then you get there and it's a welcoming family and you're part of the family, and John's the head of the family, and Charla, the mom and dad, the king and queen. And
easy there.
And then you do all of that against this gorgeous backdrop of the Danube through the Christmas markets. It's festive season. It's just, it's phenomenal.
If I can interject for a moment, I am still working on my beautiful wife, Charla, to lead a karaoke contest in night 2 of the cruise. I'm not sure I'm making headway on that, but it is a work in progress.
And there you go. If we want to do karaoke, we're going to do karaoke. Whatever we want. We own the ship, and that's the beauty of it. Okay, so let's get into some question and answer here. I'm taking a look at the questions that are in the chat, and if you don't mind, I'll go through them first. Strat, did I answer your question already? I see your hand up.
Hey, good morning. My question is about single occupancy, and I think I might have figured that out on the website, but it appears that it's if you're traveling alone, you have to pay as if you have 2 people. Is that correct?
Strat, that's correct. The ship does not accommodate singles, without, no special pricing for that. So you wind up buying the whole cabin. However, if there are a number of people that are single that want to share a cabin, all right, we can, off of the registration site, work to see if there's a roommate available, presumably of the same sex, so that you can share a cabin. So if that's something that you are interested in, please send an email to us, and we'll see what we can organize. Some people have booked single cabins by paying the double occupancy price, and maybe they're interested in sharing, right? And so we can look at that to see if we can accommodate it. But that's how the singles work.
Right. Okay. Thanks for the information.
Yes, right. Thanks. All right, we did, Ken. What happens in the case of a medical event or illness? Is there a physician on board? Can you talk a little bit about that, Tamara?
Yeah, absolutely. I saw that question. So, actually, I can answer two in one because the last one is are the stops every day on the cruise or there is like a sailing day. So when we do a river cruise, we have a stop every day. We are in port. So sometimes we have a partial day sailing and sometimes we are for the whole day in port. In regards of the physician on board, we don't have that. We are a river ship. We are much smaller in that in size, so we do not provide physician on board as a service or any medication. So if you do have a medication that you need to continuous use, please bring enough with you and maybe a spare prescription that you can go to the pharmacy here in Europe and buy it if you need additional. If there is a need for any medical emergency, we have our first responders on board who can assist you on the first step. There is a hotel director, cruise director, and all head of departments like a housekeeper and a restaurant manager as well, and the captains. They're all equipped to be the first responders, and they all have past first aid on the beginning of each season, so it's already renewed. However, if you require further medical assistance, we can always call you an ambulance, or if you feel good enough, we can always send you to the ER. Since we are every day in certain port, that helps a lot. So you can go straight away if it's needed. Hopefully not, but never to be careful.
And Tamara, if the ship is cruising at any given time, I presume that based on where it is, there's always a possibility it can make a stop as opposed to waiting till it gets to a port to offload a passenger if required.
Exactly. So in that case, we do something that is called emergency stop. We find, because that's the beauty of the Danube, you have a dock on almost every corner where you can stop the ship, but we also need to be careful because our vessel has, as I said, 135 meters long, so not everywhere we can stop, but in case of an emergency, the first captains, and they're always contacting the port authorities in that area, and we're requesting an emergency stop in order for ambulance to come and help us out.
Terrific. Okay, next question is, once a deposit is made, are we able to have our own travel agent finish arrangements for the trip? Absolutely. You don't need to do anything with us other than book the cruise. If you want us to do everything, we are happy to support you. But if you've got a travel agent and we know the value of travel agents, that's what we do, then I encourage you to use them and you know, do all of your bookings pre-post and air with them. Absolutely. Kevin and Patty have asked, what's the dress code for dinner, especially for women? Tamara?
Well, the general dress code on board is smart casual. If you want to dress up, because we do like have a welcome and a farewell dinner, if you want to dress up a bit more than that, like a suit and a tie and a dress heel, you're more than welcome. But I think the ground base is smart casual.
And while the purpose of this call isn't to necessarily process, it's our ship, so dress code can be whatever we want. But I think we go with the standard smart casual. It is informal, but we want to, you know, look nice. We may decide, and John may want to do a celebration one night. Maybe we want to have a theme or something. Maybe we'll want to have a formal night. Maybe not. But if we do any of that, we'll let everybody know so that they can dress. Oh, John is saying no to the formal night.
I am full casual. When I left the TV studio, I got rid of most everything. I'm a big fan of casual. We're on vacation. We got to be comfortable, but that's just my opinion. I'm open to being swayed another way, but I can be festive in a nice sweater and a pair of jeans.
All right, I'm hearing t-shirts is the dress. So we'll give people a smart casual, but yes, informal. So that's the way it works for dress. Eve has asked, what is the river traffic like in December? Is the ship ever double parked, maybe triple or quadruple parked, I'll put there, or need to walk over the top of a ship dock to next to it to get to land? And this is very common. Obviously, Eve, you've cruised the river before. Tamara, you want to answer that for us?
Yeah, absolutely. That's some of the question for me, right? So in general, we do prioritize our clients to be first on the dock to avoid crossing to other ship if we need to be double or triple dock, right? Let's say traffic in December, not as high as it would be in the main season. but it's still quite high because we do have quite a few vessels on the river. We, at the moment, as far as I know, let's say up to Paso would highly unlikely to happen that you have to go over the sun deck. Usually we keep it in the reception area or on the third deck, but then again, this depends how other companies make their schedule. This is something that I cannot foresee much in the future. We always have our captains talking to other captains from other companies in order. It also depends who comes first in the port. Usually it's on the first come, first serve basis, but we always do advise our captains to talk to other captains to let us first on the dock if we can.
Thank you for that. The next question here is, are there any standard rooms still available? Eve, the answer is we have held back some rooms from the standard inventory and the balcony, the signature suite category, to make sure that we get everything accommodated correctly through the registration system and there are no problems or errors or issues at this point. Eve, if you would reach out to us and tell us that if you're interested in the standard room, then we'll evaluate that inventory and can put you in it before we go ahead and reopen the inventory, to the general public. So that, because that one category I do know is sold out right now on the website. Stephen, are there optional excursion choices in each port? Not in each port, but we do have, I think, 2 or 3 tomorrow. Can you touch on that quickly? That would be the concert in Vienna, I think, and a couple of others.
Yes, exactly. So I think it should be 3 in total, as we discussed. One will be in Bratislava in the afternoon, which will be the Carpathian wine tour. The highlight definitely of the trip would be the Viennese concert on the night of Vienna. This is something very unique and traditional for Vienna that we always offer. And the third one will be Salzburg, the full day excursion to the magical Christmas market in Austria, in Salzburg.
And those are on the website in the itinerary with the price in euros for that. Keep a note, Stephen, that on some of those, if you take the optional tour, you will miss the tour that's included in the package, right? It's one or the other, just based on the amount of time available in the ports.
Exactly.
So that's how that's working. Eve has asked, is this gay friendly and what percentage of LGBT travelers are on the trip? I don't know, Eve. We have not asked and or tracked that in any way. We're open. There's no issue from our standpoint. Cindy, you any issues on that? You could shed any light on that from past trips, or has it not been an issue?
It hasn't been an issue. It really has not ever really came up. I mean,
yeah, okay. I can speak to this. I mean, look, we are all welcoming.
Right.
I set the tone right out of the gate, folks. We're here to have a good time. We're here to laugh together. We're here to live our best lives because you never know.
You only get one.
You only get one, and nothing's guaranteed. So we are here to have a good time, and you're gonna be sitting next to people that may have differing views or whatever. That's fine. It doesn't matter. We're here to have fun, to celebrate the Christmas spirit in a place that we're kind of foreign to, and we just want to create memories and good ones. So yeah, that's one of the things that it's been so enjoyable from my standpoint is I've always been a people person. Obviously, when you're doing some of the stuff I've done in my other life, you got to be. And sometimes you got to smile when you don't want to smile, especially when you're working in the TV world. But I can honestly say we have had such great experiences with the folks on these trips. A lot of laughs and just memories that'll last us for forever and beyond. So, like I said, we are all welcoming, and I'll set the tone right out of the gate, folks. You got my promise.
Perfect. That's what we want to hear. Great. What country do you check for insurance since the drop-down only accepts one and we are going to multiple? Catherine, I don't have off the top of my head the answer to that. I would just pick Austria because it's the first one, but can you shed any light on that?
Hungary would be the first one.
Excuse me.
So that would be perfectly appropriate. Just select Hungary and move on from there.
And don't worry about the rest. Terrific.
Exactly.
Great. Martha's asked, can any cabins accommodate 3 people? Martha, unfortunately, the answer is no. None of the cabins on the ship can accommodate anything more than 2 people. And that has to do with regulations on the ship and capacities and all kinds of things that are beyond my pay grade. But we did check and the answer is no to that. And that's pretty standard. Joan has asked, what about tips? Are they included? Yes, Joan, tips are included. Gratuities are all taken care of. Dave asks, are there stops every day on the cruise, or are there days when we'll stay on the boat when traveling between markets and cities? There is a stop every day except Regensburg. We're there overnight, I believe. Correct, Tamara?
Yeah, also in Budapest.
In Budapest. All right.
Yep.
So there's an overnight, but not during the day, not a full day in a port.
Yeah, so Budapest on day 1, basically when they would embark the ship, and the next day we would stay until approximately 5 o'clock, more or less, maybe a bit earlier. We would depart, but in general, the 9th of December would be the definitely full day in Budapest when they're embarking this ship, and the next day in the morning we would have the included tour, and then they would have some free time if they want to stay longer in the city. But in general, in the afternoon we would depart from Bratislava, because we are going upstream and we do require a certain amount of hours to sail to Bratislava. The other day where it's in the end of the cruise, on the 15th we arrive in the afternoon to Regensburg. So basically they would have a morning sailing, and then we would overnight until the 16th. And the 16th, this is where they depart from the ship and going to airport in Munich.
Terrific. Next question is, do we need a visa? And I'm pretty certain the answer is no to that. I see Cindy agreeing. Yeah, we're all European Union now.
Yes, just your valid passport, no visas needed.
Now that's for U.S. citizens.
U.S. citizens.
So if you're not a citizen of the U.S., let us know, or we'll know the registration, and we'll help you with whatever visas are, if visas are required, obtaining those. So we can support you with that.
Greg, if I may add something here in regards of the passport validity, that they need to be valid more than 6 months from the date of departure from Europe. So if your passport is expiring, let's say that would be 16th of May 2027, that would be the 6 months after the departure from the cruise, that could cause some issues flying to Europe, because they have these regulations that the passport needs to be valid more than 6 months from the day of the departure of your trip.
Terrific. Thank you for clarity. So that's 6 months past your departure date from Europe. Exactly. Is what you need. The passport needs to be valid for. Okay. Is there a service available to ship items back if you purchase too much to carry? Jenny wants to know about that. Jenny's got a big credit card. Tamara, any comment?
Well, I would say maybe choose to bring 2 luggages. We don't have a company who ships those things out, and because you need to have a fixed address, and our ships, they don't have fixed address because they're all registered to Malta or Switzerland, depending where we register the ships. So we don't have a fixed address through the countries you're sailing, so you would not be able to send it through DHL or UPS. So maybe to have a spare luggage. What usually I do when I travel, because I do travel a lot in the past 10 years, I would go with basically what I need, and then have the rest of the luggage free for the stuff that I'm going to buy, because I do buy a lot. And I agree with you, you're going to need a lot of space for all the Christmas cups and all the ornaments, because the amount of shopping you can do on the Christmas market is definitely a huge one.
I can vouch for that. Not by my own doing, but by witnessing my life partner.
And we will, and Jenny, we've got a number of staff on board the ship to help out, and we can look into this in advance. We can find out what services are available obviously they exist, but there's not a turnkey, way we can do it on board the ship, but we'll help you if that's an issue and get that sorted for you. Should we take euros for offshore purchases? Well, the most important thing is to take small denomination euros like €1 or a half a euro so you can go to the bathroom because all the bathrooms require that you pay. But Tamara, talk a little bit about what cash requirements are.
Okay, so basically, since you're traveling to different countries, the only difference is between Hungary and all of them others, because in Hungary they use Hungarian forints. I would suggest definitely for Hungary, prepare your Visa cards, would be more than enough. For all other countries, definitely maybe, like Craig said, small denominations of euros for the bathroom. In general rule, they all accept credit cards. However, it's always good to have small amount of cash just in case, because sometimes their terminals are not working or anything else. But in general, card terminals are working, so that should be fine, just to have something as a backup and for the bathrooms.
Tamara, is cash available on board the ship at all?
You mean as an ATM?
Yes.
So we don't have an ATM on board, but they have ATMs in every city, and I would definitely not suggest Hungary to do so because they do have quite high fees. And maybe Slovakia and Bratislava would be good, or Austria if you want to take some money from your account. As well, I would add a note, maybe talk to your banks before you go on this trip, because as part of the experience when I worked on board as a receptionist, I had a couple of situations where the guests never advised their banks that they were traveling, and then the banks would block out any possible transactions that they would do in Europe because they would think it's a fraud. So maybe advise as well the banks, if you don't have it already in part of your accounts, that you're traveling to Europe from these days, just so they know, so you don't have any issues with your credit cards.
Okay. If we Molly's asking if we book a full cabin now, can we add a guest later? Absolutely. Not an issue at all, Molly. Gretchen, do the balcony suites have outside balconies or French balconies? Tamara, maybe you want to explain this.
Well, our balconies are built like that, so they're all inside with a window that is folding down. We don't. It's kind of French balcony, so but still, when you're sailing, you're more protected from the wind if you open the window. Because if you can go outside completely, then it would be too windy for you and too cold, especially during the winter time. So it's more a form of the French balcony, because the window can go down, and you also have the door in between the balcony and the room, so you can close it if it's too cold for you.
So just to restate it in my language, a French balcony typically is part of the room for people that haven't been on a river cruise. And what happens is the window slides down all the way across your balcony, right? So it's the window drops down. In effect, now you're open from, waist height up. All right. So that becomes a balcony. That's what a French balcony is. And when the window's closed, it is no balcony. It's part of the room, right? So that's what they call a French balcony. On these ships, there is that window on the outside, but there's also another door that slides. So think of an actual balcony with a sliding door, but when you open up those doors to go out in the balcony, there is then a window that you need to lower if you actually want to get the air. I hope that's making sense to people, because it's not a true French balcony, but it is a true balcony, but it looks like a French balcony. I hope that's answered the question, Gretchen. Would any of the buses, Stephen asked, any of the buses have an issue with transporting an upright roller bag that's the size of a small golf bag? A rollator. What's a rollator, Stephen? Is that a transportation thing?
It's like an upright walker.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
I know what it is. I understood the question. Yeah, no problem. All the buses are equipped to do so.
Thank you very much, Tamara. Lori Speck is saying she was able to choose Europe on the insurance. Was a pull down somewhere for folks, for what it's worth. Mary Jean Stevens is asking, did any of the suites offer a king size bed? Tamara?
Well, basically, how our cabins are made, that we can do as per your requirement. So whether we can make it a double size or we can make it as a twin size. So it's basically based on your requirements in the booking.
Right, but I think what Mary Jean is asking is, it's not a king size bed traditional to U.S. king size beds. It's
No,
closer
no,
to a
it's more
queen and
like
technically a double.
queen-ish, yeah.
Yeah, more closer to a queen.
Yeah.
Kimberly's asking that travelers will need to apply for the European ETIAS travel authorization, correct? And that is correct. And we will see what the regulations are prior to the cruise and give everyone updated information. Nothing to do now. Trixie, what is the anticipated weather during the time frame? I wish I knew exactly what it was going to be, Trixie. But Tamara, any thoughts on that?
Well, out of the experience, really, I mean, cold weather expected definitely. Snow, but then again, depends on the year. This is something we really don't have control or knowledge about in advance. I would suggest just follow your weather forecast before you start packing, a couple of days before. Those are the most accurate ones. I would say, I mean, I can give you a link that we usually use. I will send it in the chat. What we usually use for the weather on the ship that we predict for the next couple of days. So I can just give you that link, and then you can check before you start packing.
Yeah, and layering is the secret here. Bring layers.
Definitely,
Yeah.
because especially if you go in the sun deck, because the sun deck is open for the entire trip, and during the sailing times, either though it is sunny outside, it can get really ice windy, because this is December we are talking about. So.
All right. The next question, Juliana, is there a recording of this call will be available? Catherine, the answer is yes to that, right? We'll have to figure out what can we email it to everyone, Catherine?
It will probably be too large to email. We'll have to figure if maybe we can get it linked back on the homepage.
That makes sense. The plan will be to put it up on the website. Okay. Excellent. Excellent. Is there an email for specific questions as they come up for individual guests? The answer is yes on the website. Catherine, correct?
Yes, and I just put it in the chat as well.
Excellent. Excellent. Can you, Catherine, take a look at our current inventory while we wrap things up and let me know what's available or sold out before we drop off? So that's all the questions in the chat. Before we call it a day, does anyone have a question? Does anyone want to, anyone have a question? Just unmute yourself and shout it out.
Can I say one thing here? A couple things that just came to mind. Regarding the cash, I have found, and I made this mistake in Strasbourg in December. I went over to Europe with a lot of cash, euros and whatever, and a lot of places take credit card and only credit cards. So I'm not going big on bringing a lot of cash over. Yes, some smaller denomination for restrooms or whatever, but I found myself like needing to spend a lot of money in Strasbourg in a 48-hour period because I had all these cash notes in my billfold. So number one, think of that. Number two, cell phone, which is very important for me. I like to be connected, obviously, 24/7 when I'm over there. Your cell carriers will have international plans. I know mine, Verizon, I think it's like a $12 travel pass each day. And it activates from the minute you land and start using your phone. So I'm one who likes to be connected at all times. So there's that. Regarding the weather, we've done now 3 years of these Christmas market trips. I've seen snowflakes falling just once, unfortunately. That was in Prague. My dream scenario is to have a snowstorm when we're there in one of these places. I hope we can see it with you. Because I love snow in winter, but we've not seen it. It's been very comfortable, mid-30s usually in the daytime in Budapest when we were there, Vienna as well. Nighttime it does get a little colder, and to Tamara's point, when you're on the water, it is very cold. But you know, we're not. You know, I don't think we're going to see a lot of snow. I'd love to see it at some point. a tip would be, pullovers, maybe a couple pullovers and then multiple like mocks or whatever underneath. You would need those every day, obviously. But if you got like, Gwen said this because she's on her trip every year and she's done a great job cobbling these Christmas market trips together. You got a couple of hoodies, but you've got a different underneath layer that you change every day. That just helps you save space in the packing. And there was one other thing, but I can't think of it right now. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Cannot wait. We've got, like I said, a couple trips ahead of us here, but I really enjoyed this trip very much. Oh, I did remember it now. When we're moving on the water, the Danube, the vistas, the views, as you're looking at the shore are amazing. I know right there in Budapest, there's a palace or something like that that is wonderfully illuminated at night.
Parliament building.
Yes, the Parliament building. Thank you. It was spectacular. It was absolutely spectacular to see daytime or night, but man, at night, it's incredible. And I think there's quite a bit of these places as we're sailing on the river that you kind of want to be on the lookout for. And tomorrow, I'm sure people on the ship will give us a heads up as we're approaching something really cool to see.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because that's you don't want to miss anything, and the views from the river I think are really good. So those are just some of the things at the top of my mind I wanted to share.
Craig, I think you.
A good question, Tamara. Is there Wi-Fi on board?
Yes, I just wanted to, on top of John's note, yes, we do have a Wi-Fi on board, but do keep in mind this is a moving ship. It's a moving object. We do have a Wi-Fi. We have a Starlink Wi-Fi on board. It is really good. Actually, I'm using it one right now, so you can see how good it is. Also, besides your own roaming cards, I would suggest who is not comfortable using their own SIM cards from the States or from wherever they are coming from. There is a thing called eSIM that we use a lot in Europe, and it's maybe more comfortable for you to use, and you don't have to buy additional card. It's just an app on your phone that I'm also using one when I'm traveling. It comes quite in handy.
Great. And the Wi-Fi is included?
Yes.
Terrific. So it's free.
I have a quick question. What is the general day timeline of doing stuff? Like, are we off the ship at like 7 a.m., 9 a.m.?
Amy, thank you for that. I missed your question. I'm seeing it in the chat. Tamara?
Thank you.
Okay, so a lot depends on the sailing as well. However, in general, let's say that the approximate hours for, let's say, breakfast in the morning would be from 7:30 till 9, followed by the start of the included tour, depending on the port where we are. That would be for Budapest. Bratislava and Vienna are quite packed because there is so much things to do there. Then you are sailing to Weisenkirchen and Melk, where you're going to see the Wachau Valley, and then you have a daytime sailing as well. From there you go to Brandstadt, which is just a stop to get off the Salzburg tour, and then you're sailing into Passau. Then the tours are in the afternoon. In general, let's say that the breakfast is between 7:30 and 9, lunch is between, let's say, 12:30 and 2 for 1 hour and a half, and then dinner usually starts 7 till 9 o'clock. It's usually done. I think that's about it. Usually we have included tours, which are depending on the sail when we arrive to the port. Usually they're in the morning, except for the ports where we arrive in the afternoon, which would be Passau and Regensburg.
Great. Okay. Thank you for that. Catherine, are you able to take a look at what the inventory looks like now?
Right now, we have a few balconies left, a couple junior suites. The royal suites are all gone.
Okay.
And the royal panorama, I believe, is at least one still available.
So there are some signature suites available,
Yep.
and then the standard suite is what's sold out.
Yes.
Okay. And we know we have a couple held back that we will adjust the inventory probably in the next hour to release whatever we can release so that we can open up that inventory. Okay. But there are
have to do you have to sign up for the optional excursions before the ship sails?
The answer is no, but you can. Tamara, you want to take that? Did I lose Tamara? No, you can sign up for them on board, Linda.
Yeah, you can sign them on board. Sorry, I was muted.
Yeah.
And then I saw a question from Mary Jean asking about workout facility on the ship. I believe there is something of that
Yes.
sort, right?
Yeah, we have a gym on board.
Okay. I'll be leading a parade of jumping jacks on the deck at 6 a.m. That's late for me.
Yeah, burpees.
5 a.m. Eastern time. I stay on American time when I'm on these trips too, which is really crazy, but I have to for my page. So I don't sleep a lot.
And I haven't seen the gym on this particular ship, but Tamara, I'm going to assume and have you validate that it's fairly modest in size.
Exactly. I mean, we are not like big ocean ships, so we have a huge gym, but we do have a treadmill, we have weights. I believe there is a bicycle as well. So I think there is a picture somewhere of the gym that maybe we can show. If not, we can.
I think I saw it somewhere on there.
Thank you.
All right.
And there is always an option with the well-being coach every morning to have a morning exercise.
Right. Well, we can have John lead jumping jacks or a stretch class or a yoga class or whatever he wants to do. Right on, and we can do it in the cold up on the deck.
We can do that.
Maybe we could do a cold plunge.
Oh,
no, we'll not be
there's
doing
an
that.
idea.
That's not funny. Another thing came to mind, and I noticed this in Budapest when we were there last time. So where they dock or at the port, it's not a bad walk from where they port to the Christmas markets there in Budapest. It's actually a very pleasant walk. So I don't know about the other places how much you actually have to hoof it to get to the the payoff points, but I think from what I saw in Budapest, it was quite close, like really nice. So there's that to factor in. And now I just remembered this, probably the greatest, most ornate coffee house in the world, the New York Cafe, is in Budapest, which I'm excited to go back to. Very, very photogenic. You're going to pay $12 for a tiny little cup of coffee, but who cares? It's a real cool thing to see. It's amazing, quite frankly, and there's a line to get in, but it's worth it. So I just remembered that is in Budapest, I think. So yeah,
Yes,
there's a lot to look forward to here. Hopefully answered your questions. Craig, I got to go out shooting, so I'm heading out.
No, that's fine. I think, and we went a little over. We're at 10:37. We'd hope to keep it to an hour and be respectful of everyone's time. But yeah, we'll close things out. Any questions that folks have not been answered, please feel free to email us. All right. If you're thinking of going on the trip, I really suggest that you book right now. I don't think there's probably but 10 cabins left when we adjust the inventory. And if you want to get on, get on. If you can't get on, because what you want is sold out or the ship is entirely booked, send an email to us, all right? Because like I said, we do have some inventory that's set aside to allow for issues, whatever reason, right? So we want to have a little flexibility. So just because, for those of you on this call, right, if you can't get it, let us know right away so we can date the timestamp the email you send. And then if something either opens up because someone cancels or we have more inventory, we can take care of you. We don't want anyone to not be able to go on board with us. We want as many people as possible. So we'll do whatever we can to accommodate that. We have another Zoom scheduled for later in the week. And we'll do some updates on the website. And I just want to say thank you for all of your interest and thank you for trusting us with this trip. And we are so excited and so looking forward to meeting all of you on board and having a wonderful week during festive season in Europe. So thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Look forward to seeing you.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye now.